What's up, guys? Unseen Protagonist here with my friend Rico here to showcase what were you playing, my friend?
Your boy, Golden Boy.
Heck yeah! So Zoodiac Eldlich, is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
What? And you got third place in this locals here. So
yeah, it was cool. It was a box tournament, and we had I think about 24 people here. So
yeah, it was a great turnout.
It was a great turnout, actually. Yeah. So Zoodiac Eldlich. I only did 2 of the Golden Boy though. Just yeah, 3 gets a little cloggy, so that's really it for Eldlich there. But we'll see more on the ratios.
Well, all right then.
And then for the monster count for Zoodiac here, we got 2 Whiptail. Whiptail put in the work. I like this ratio here. I almost wanted to put another one of him in instead of her, but she actually came up where she added one from grave to hand. But this is nice to like banish other stuff. People don't read the other effect, so sometimes you don't want to just always go bow direct. So this at least helps you banish whoever you're battling if it's in either defense or lower attack. So that's pretty cool.
Exactly.
But those 5 are great. I always suggest 5 because these are only normal summons in the main deck. So that's what that is there.
Gotcha.
And then the only other monster count in the deck was just the 3 Ash Blossoms.
Okay.
I just didn't want to get caught with someone Red Eyes fusioning, so I didn't want to regret that. So at least it has a hand trap and they have more in the side. And then on to the spells.
All right.
We have 3 Curse Edland. And
Okay.
then the 1 Black Awakening.
Gotcha.
So I enjoyed this just because it's... Sometimes I just want to get Eldlich on the field, and I can do this, and then that way I don't have to worry about the white. The white Destiny, the only issue with that is sometimes you run into the issue, if you don't even have an Eldlich engraved, then it's just super dead. So at least this is always live, and if you send it off Forbidden Droplets or some other effect, you can always use it that turn, which is nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's cool, a combo about this deck too, is with the Curse Edland, it has so much synergy, again, because you're not normal summoning with it. But what's cool is if you're going first, you have a Trident, and you pop your own Eldland, so that way you could send something to guarantee and send a Golden Land to grave, so you can get Eldlich, or you can send Eldlich. So that's one cool little synergy with the deck there.
All right. I do agree. That sounds very fancy.
Yeah, then just the normal, 310 key, and then the 1 Barrage.
Gotcha.
I mean, you can't really do any more than this, but that is nice. I can see why this is at 1. It's pretty busted.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
No doubt. And
then just for generically good spell cards, I did 2 Book of Moon, 3 Cosmic Cyclone, and 1 Duster. I expected some back row hate, so I wanted to have something to have some interaction, especially if there was the Buster Lock. That's what this was for, or the take care of whatever it's equipped to, so that way it forces a negate. But yeah, that's what I was afraid of most, and I did get a Buster Lock on me, but I think we had outs to that.
Absolutely.
This came in clutch because the Tri-Brigade player, he summoned so many links, but he didn't put the Wind Barrier statue underneath a link 3, so you can just book the Wind Barrier statue and you're good to go. So
exactly.
That's it was torn because this is a bigger deck, double sleeve. This is 44 cards.
Oh, yep.
So I really wanted to keep this in here because it's good going first or second. I can keep it as
exactly.
Because if you book most decks normal summons at a rogue, it really hurts.
I agree. It's honestly a really good flexible card these days.
Exactly. Yeah. And then same with Forbidden Droplet. This deck you don't nag in it like you do in other decks. It's pretty hard to do. So that's why you might as well keep that in here. And then the real MVP was Mystic Mind. I'm not that guy normally, but it's good in this because if you're going second or first, if you're going first, it acts like an extra little floodgate because you just end on your Trident, and then if they go extend and try to link climb, they're going to lose a lot of value, and they really have to think, so it could force some misplays. But what's really cool is if you're going second, you activate it, and you negate their field in other ways or get baited out. But if you're able to just have a Mystic Mind and a Zoodiac, it's a guaranteed Zeus going to go off. Because if they have any more than 1 monster, you're going to go off and Zeus the whole board. After I did this to my opponents on like game 1 or game 2, whenever they saw it, basically, they prepared for it. So this is a side out usually, just because they prepare for it and they don't want this to happen again.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this was clutch for sure.
I agree. Cards fun, deck's not.
Yeah, no, I'm not Mystic Mind Burn. It just allows. It's a good bait of a negate too.
I agree. It is.
Eldritch spells or Eldritch traps. Sorry.
You're good, dude.
You got 3, 3, 2.
Okay.
I feel like I kind of missed the third one of this sometimes, especially since I did run the black. But I was really trying to keep it as low as possible. I mean, it's a 44. I just didn't want to go that much higher.
Right.
But the grind, eventually you run out. So that's the only issue is you run out.
I get it. Hogwarts typically ran at 2 anyway in most builds, isn't it?
In most builds, Imperial Eldlich, this is definitely a 3 of, and you add and then you could add the Golden Land Forever, but this is definitely at 2 if you're doing the Zoodiac, in my opinion.
Right.
You could even cut the black too if you wanted the Black Awakening.
For the second Hogwarts?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So that way you have at least closer to 40 in this build. 2 Ice Dragon's Prison.
Oh.
I only got to resolve it like once or twice today. It did work, but I still lost those games, so I'm not going to attribute it to this card, but it's a good card, but I think it's I think this would have been cuttable for me, just because if I'm already clearing the board with Zeus or whatever, it's good if I'm going first, so maybe siding it, but the strike was always good. Strike was bomb.
As it always seems to strike people at the worst moments.
Yes, you always got to hit the Access Co-Talker, am I right?
We don't talk about that.
Yeah. And in Imperial Order as a 1 of. This is another one where, honestly, I probably shouldn't have kept this in there. It should have been in the side, but I had a hard time really trying to minimize wanted to be prepared because there was a lot of rogue here today.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm glad I kept this in because I did a cool play where I had Mystic Mine on field and my opponent was really trying to get rid of it. So we had 1 monster each, and I activated Imperial Order, and Mystic Mine lived because it was just wouldn't pop itself during the end phase. So that's really cool. And then I just was then able to Trident and pop my Imperial Order when I was ready to go back off. So
absolutely, yes. That's actually a really interesting interaction. I was going to say combo, but it's more or less an interaction. That's more or less an interaction at this point.
Exactly. It's pretty stacky, but honestly, it does so good. Because at least I wish I would have seen this more. I wish it was more than 1, but because I got Tomb Twistered and Harpy's Feather Dustered, and that's what led to my demise. But yeah, that's it for the main deck.
Awesome. Looks very solid. So
thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
And for the extra deck, just got these guys here.
Okay.
This is in case I saw the mirror. This is so you can get rid of your traps, so you can make this because it's an Earth, and it helps you recur your Zeus.
Absolutely.
And then this here, usually if you bring this out, you're in a good shape. But I did have to where my opponent used it for World Legacy Succession, which does whichever Link Zone, unfortunately. So they got a free benefit in it, and they got the game from there. So
I see.
And then I was expecting Dogmatica here at this 24-person tournament. Not one, so this was kind of... because this here just so much benefit. If you can send that and then get a free Macabre and then to negate...
I agree.
But I think I would have been better off with, like... I'll explain at the end, but this definitely could have been something else.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Then two, and then we got... the 1-ofs, the Hammer Kong, and the Trident.
Trident, obviously for Trident.
Exactly, yeah. So usually you can start on your board if you want, but if you want to end on and add some extra pressure, what's nice is I usually stack the boar first.
Oh, yeah.
You stack the Trident, and then you stack the Shakanine, detach, get Trident, engrave, and special it. So it's kind of nice. You add pressure with a Zeus with being whatever you were stacking on top of the Shakanine, and then you have a Trident with the material when you target mode or equip it.
Oh yeah, for sure, man.
Sorry, and Zeus, speaking of, might as well throw him here. Zeus was definitely MVP. There are so many times this deck just makes him as a 6 stack, so you can do it 3 times in a row. What's really cool, what people don't realize is when they destroy a card of yours, then you can equip anything from your deck. So usually I do Eldlich or an Ed Elixir if I didn't see any of my Eldlich engine. Or if you have Target Mortar on field, if you're able to go into that, you can detach and equip any Exceed monster with a Zoodiac. So you can then add an extra bit to your Sky Thunder.
Oh, okay.
Even though that puts you at an odd number, but then if they destroy something of yours and don't destroy him, you get an extra. So you might as well at that point if you'll
have an extra graveyard resource.
Exactly.
Disregarding Zeus. So
so that was it for the extra deck, and then
that's awesome, man.
And what I would probably side out this Dogmatica package here is for that drill exceed that you can just
drill
4.
driver Vespacito.
That's it. Yeah, Vesper. Yeah, exactly.
The comment's gonna call me out if I butchered that.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah, and then it's nice because it's just a free 25 with piercing, so in case you get closer to time. And then the other one, I would probably just make that as an extra link, probably link 4 or a third of Shaka 9. Honestly.
Gotcha.
And then
that's interesting though, yeah.
Yeah, and then the side deck is where it kind of got. This didn't work today. I didn't see it though. I wish I would have seen it. Was Inspector Border, because your Eldlich traps just do their things, and then if you have a Trident, it can still do its one effect, and that's all you need. So this is just in case I played like Dragon Link or some combo that's really reliant on, and they don't have any way to out this with like a Dark Ruler or Forbidden Droplets or Imperm.
Definitely.
This is just really useful to shut them down, and then I can go off and go from there.
Definitely, monster effects are almost like what 90% of this game. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
ground shaking card.
And most people, they forget how this works exactly. So I think your Dryden gives them one effect, but still one effect's pretty good, especially if you take those out for Mystic Mine or if you add them in addition to it. But I never saw this, unfortunately.
Ah, darn.
And then the actual hand traps that were added to, just some powerhouses, 3 and 3. There were a lot of Tri Brigade here. I only played the one guy who had it, but both these put in work against him because it was the bird up deck. But yeah, I mean these were great. I probably would cut this to 2. I don't know. It felt like I always saw this in my hand way too much. But I was glad I did, but I wasn't able to push the kill. I'm not an OTK type deck.
Gotcha.
So that's where it was a little difficult because then my opponent just then did their combo, and I maybe had like a couple disruptions, which helped, but it didn't really. I'm not an OTK deck, so that's where I probably would change this for something else.
I understand. Also, I'm sure you probably have like some other control interaction instead of that third roll. So
exactly, yeah. And then this was good because I didn't see evenly, but I was afraid of someone evenling me or doing a Cosmic Cyclone. That's what this card is just good. I don't want to cut that whenever.
No, it's a good card. I sure can survive with the bird up deck and such.
Exactly, yeah, it really helps. 3 judgments. That's in case I know I'm going to go first, and I'm expecting them to have some back row hate. It came up, but I didn't. Obviously, with 44 card deck, that's definitely would prefer to get it down to 40, so I would see some of my other stuff more often.
Oh no, I get it.
But I'm glad I had all the utility I did with having a 44.
For sure.
Because you go through it pretty quickly with all the searching. So
gotcha.
And then lastly, triple lightning storm.
Yay!
Yeah. So this is just some extra. Versatility because it can clear back row, so that puts me at 7 back row clearing. But also, it just usually if the Dragon Link or the Tri Brigade deck, they flood the board. So this could bait it and gate usually because most of the stuff we're going to summon and attack. And this is great. It's versatile, and that's why I really struggled with. I had this at 2 originally in here, but I wanted to keep 3. So
right,
that's why Imperial Order I think was probably in the main deck. But that's it for the deck. It definitely, it was a good experience, good time. Definitely had some good friends here, and I definitely would do this again. And with this deck, I would definitely make tweaks. Like I said, make it to 40 if possible. Knowing what's floating around, because again, the meta's still young. Still got time, and this is like the first bigger event aside from an 8-person locals I've had since the ban list. So
yeah, I was gonna say the ban list is fresh, so sometimes it's really hard to interpret a format at this time. So
yeah, exactly. But no, thanks for taking your time to do this, and shout outs to Shane Riker with 307 cards, and thank you for posting this deck profile.
Hey, not a problem, man. And thank you very much. So this is Unseen Protagonist here, and Rico with the Zoodiac Eldlich, and we're signing out. Later.